SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I think it's time to discuss this topic and what could be coming in 2024. Increasing prices to the consumer. Right, something that we obviously loathe as consumers is paying more for service. We like the transaction going in the opposite direction, where we pay less. But I think it's a situation where we can't really avoid this. And I think due to the way operators, 5G builders, the network builders are going, it's kind of inevitable. So I'll be here discussing that in this video, and then we'll be sure to, give you guys a link to the article for the inspiration for me to cover this in this video from Dano Light Reading. The link will be in the description. All right, let's start first with the carriers, right? You've got T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. They're kind of playing a tug of war. They're trying to, increase their revenues, improve their margins and profits without making customers churn. And by churn, we're talking about customers leaving, right? So what happens when these carriers make decisions to raise prices? They potentially bring that risk to the table, and they understand that and they know that. The problem with creating that risk is if you lose customers to another competitor because of that price hike, they're going and they're probably not coming back, at least not for a while, and then you got to fight back for them. So, let's take a look at disclosures from each of the carriers. Let's start first with T-Mobile, who historically has been the most cost-effective way to purchase your wireless service. The T-Mobile CEO said in comments earlier in the month, things like opportunities for us to optimize our cost structure and revenue structure here and there, right? They're going to see what the customer can accept. Okay, so that means they're going to test the waters. So if you're a T-Mobile customer out there, be mindful that they may be trying to sneak in some things. We did see an unsuccessful effort of T-Mobile to try to force migrate customers out of their existing plans and onto new ones. And that totally backfired, and it got to the point where the CEO basically tried to blame the media coverage, right? So he had to walk that back for sure. Additionally, if you're a Verizon customer, we know how Verizon does things, right? We've been kind of monitoring this very closely. And what Verizon's CEO said was, can we add more value to our customers? That is a price increase, but they get more. See, I like the sound of that. So let me explain why. He's not saying they're going to raise prices on legacy plans. He didn't mention price action or anything like that. He's saying if a customer is willing to pay more, we'll give them more. Or vice versa. We give them more so they're willing to pay more, however you want to look at it. I think that's probably going to be the best play, because a customer that is happy with what they have isn't necessarily looking to change. But if you gave them a reason to change and upgrade, they might take that offer. And of course, the conversion rate becomes important there. So I think that might work in 2024, especially if there's an economic downturn. Forcing customers into price hikes may cause them to leave. That seems to make sense. And then with respect to AT&T, if you're an AT&T customer, they're the ones that I have the most fear about. They haven't touched their plans, while both T-Mobile and Verizon did. So I think they're more likely to kind of mess with the structure of their plans or raise prices. So I'm just looking at them being kind of the last of the Mohicans. Now, the quotes from CEO John Stankey said, I think there is more room to raise prices. So they seem gung-ho on it. Now, I'll leave it at this with respect to AT&T. They probably want to do something similar to what Verizon did. I don't think you want to mess around too much. You have the industry's best churn rate. I don't think you want to disrupt that. You offer customers the best promotions on devices. Be careful with spiking your churn. You don't have what customers perceive to be the best network in the country, right? And I don't think that's something you want to rock. So you got good momentum. I don't think you want to do that. Maybe do something similar to what Verizon's kind of looking at. And to kind of wrap this all up, guys, the price increases are justified in the eyes of these companies. T-Mobile has been spending, I guess it was the most for their company, in the last few years with the 5G UC build. They have spent, upwards of $12 billion one of the years. I think another year it was like 11 something. They're going to keep it around 9 or 10 billion. They're upgrading the network. They're going to be adding new coverage. the price hikes will be justified if it's about the network, right? And then with respect to Verizon, 10 billion in C-band by itself, 40 billion for the spectrum. Annually capex is at like 18, 19 billion. We're going to have to start to see some of that kind of come back in AT&T over 20 billion, 22, 23 billion for consecutive years. Number one, the carriers are going to peel back the spending, right? And number two, they have to get a return. It's just the only way to operate. So you're going to see those two things simultaneously. So as I've stated in previous videos and on the podcast, the best way for these carriers to raise prices is to give the customer something better. Do not raise prices on existing plans, legacy plans that have already been dinged, right, for price action. You don't want to create churn and then have them go to prepaid or MVNO, find a way to do it cheaper and decrease your revenues and margins, right? So they have to tread water lightly. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in 2024. I think price increases in some way, shape, or form are inevitable, but as long as the mobile network operators improve the network experience, can offer more value and giving the customer more, I think they can command that price increase. I do think the customer is price sensitive, but if you improve their experience and give them something more, I think it's a justified increase and they'll take it on the chin. If you guys agree or disagree with my sentiment, tell me what your predictions are for each of the carriers down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe for more, and turn on that bell notifications icon to never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, folks. See you on the next one. Peace.